We're just days away from a divisional game versus the Bills, and who's making headlines for the Patriots? Malik Cunningham. ESPN's Dan Graziano writing, I'm told the coaches are discussing ways to work Cunningham into the game plan in a somewhat significant way, possibly as early as this week against Buffalo. Could Cunningham supplant Jones as a starter? Anything's possible, but we're a ways away from that being a consideration. Welcome into Arbella Early Edition with Trenny, Amina Smith filling in. We've got Tom Curran out there in Foxborough, WEI's Andy Hart here in studio. And guys, everybody's eyebrows went up when that report came out because everyone's wondering how Malik Cunningham is going to be used on the field in Buffalo on Sunday. And Curran, we know we've seen Malik Cunningham as a wide receiver, on special teams, as quarterback. How are you expecting him to be used? What are you hearing out there at Gillette Stadium?
I love Dan. He's terrific, but he's not telling us anything we do. He's not telling us anything we don't already know, nor that we talked about last week and will continue to talk about for the rest of the year as long as Mac Jones is under siege. And the result of him being under siege, or the root cause of it, is a lack of protection. So what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, what I'm understanding is the Patriots are taking an undrafted quarterback who was released in August and the entire league passed on again, and because he has a specific skill set that makes him perhaps feasible when protection breaks down, they're using him as an opportunity to move in the pocket, move the offense, scurry around. Basically, he is a panic button that the Patriots can employ. What could they do with him? Same thing we talked about last week, a small package of plays that exhibits that he can do some things. But fellas, until Malik Cunningham throws it overhand past the line of scrimmage and shows he can throw in the NFL, teams are going to put 8 and 9 men in the box and say, okay, we know what's coming.
We want you guys to join the conversation as well by voting in our poll. What should Cunningham's role be on Sunday? Go to NBCSportsBoston.com/early edition or just scan the QR code on the screen. Andy, on one hand, I feel like this is a move for the Patriots to get creative, to get into the end zone. On the other hand, I feel like this is a move of desperation. We're talking about Malik Cunningham going into week 7. Yep. What does it say about where the Patriots are right now?
So we'll make up a quote here. Desperation is the mother of invention, correct? So you need to find a way to do more offensively. And if this were college football recruiting, I think it would say ATH next to Malik Cunningham, athlete. Mm-hmm. You need athletes on the field. How about we look at that last offensive play in Las Vegas last week, and you had Mike Gesicki fall on his face. His right tackle basically fell on his face, whiffed on Max Crosby, and you had your quarterback, Mac Jones, incapable of doing anything, right? It was just jailbreak, I'm in trouble, I go down. Maybe Malik Cunningham can do something. Now, I would admit that in that game when Malik Cunningham was in shotgun, he was sacked for a 5-yard loss, so it's not perfect, but they need a spark offensively. They have a gadget athlete guy that's available. And yes, this is desperate times and desperate measures are needed.
And Curran, how fair is this, though, to Malik Cunningham with him only having 6 snaps in the NFL and also not that many reps at quarterback?
It's unfair, but I'm sure that he's not balking at the opportunity. I'd be happy to have it, too, because I wouldn't be a player who at this juncture would have expected to be on the field. And I'm certain that Bill Belichick wasn't sitting there in April, May, June, or July and saying, can't wait till week 7 when we get Malik Cunningham out there as our backup and start running him out there against the Bills. I mean, this is worst case scenario bumping into worst case scenario. So, but chicken salad out of chicken poop.
I was going to wait for you to say it. I was like, hopefully Curran does not go there tonight.
We'll work our way through the roster situation as we go through the week, yeah. I'm not going to talk about how we're going to play the game.
Bill, on Malik, would you feel comfortable playing him close to a full complement of reps if it came to that quarterback?
Well, I mean, look, he's a young player, so he's improving. See how it goes.
But if he was the number 2 and something happened early in the game, you'd be okay with him kind of...
He was number 2, that's what it would be.
That takes us right into our deep dive. Tom Giles joining us right now. Bill Belichick not wanting to say much about Malik Cunningham and his role, what he'll play on Sunday. But, you know, Giles, just how concerning is it that we're talking about Malik Cunningham heading into week 7 of the NFL season and then also going up against a divisional opponent like the Bills?
I was so excited after the first preseason game when Malik Cunningham. No, seriously, I was so excited about that game. I actually want to go back to those times because that's when it was all fun.
You get your wish. You jumpstart.
No, but
skip the 6 weeks right here. Malik time.
What I'm meaning to say here is
unfolding, but go ahead.
What I'm meaning to say is that everyone made fun of that idea, and here we are. And yeah, I mean, I think
I'm
it says.
still making fun of it. That's the issue.
But I think it says where you are in Week 7.
Did Bill not know that Malik Cunningham was the number 2 quarterback on Sunday? And if, remember when Tom Brady got hurt on the first drive of the season? If that had happened in Vegas, does Bill not know that Malik Cunningham would have played 59 minutes and 59 seconds? I am really confused as still why he was the backup quarterback. Did they not know if something smells funny, the way he answered that. Yeah, as a young player, he's working. No, Billy was the backup last week. You tell me when you prepare for other teams that you have to be prepared for the backup because they're one play away.
Yeah.
Your guy was one play away, who last we saw in the preseason when you were getting giddy.
Man,
we've
really come a long way now getting into Week 7. Curran, I want to bring you in. Just what were your thoughts on what Bill Belichick had to say about Malik Cunningham and what his role might be on Sunday?
I don't know what to say on what Bill said because he didn't say anything really. I mean, Bill is playing it the way he knows he's caught. He knows he's trapped. That's why I'm having a hard time articulating anything as to Bill. He has no explanation for why he had to put Malik Cunningham up and then put Bailey Zappi. Again, for the folks who are out there wondering what the ramifications are, you can have a starting quarterback, as we know, and you can have a backup quarterback. They've now installed a third emergency quarterback this year. So that third emergency quarterback last week was Bailey Zappi, but he couldn't enter the game until the fourth quarter and could only enter because of injuries to the first 2 guys. So as a result, if Mac Jones got hurt early in the game, the only alternative the Patriots would have had until quarter 4 was Bailey Zappi, unless Malik got hurt. So Bill understands he doesn't want to have Malik Cunningham a heartbeat away, but he also loves his precious special teams and offensive line depth, such as it is. So as a result, he didn't sit down Mike Onwenu, who wasn't ready to play because of injury, and he stood there and watched all game, while Bailey Zappi couldn't have played until the fourth quarter. So I think that's why, just to cut to the chase of why we're focusing on Malik Cunningham being the backup, not the third quarterback, it's because he could have played conceivably 3 quarters the other day, and now they might do it again. And he's not ready to play. As wonderful as he looked in some preseason practices and some preseason games against guys who were about to get released or who were otherwise unoccupied with direct interest in that game, he's not ready to play against an NFL defense in Week 6 of his rookie year.
And Curran saying that obviously Malik Cunningham not ready to play in this game on Sunday against the Bills as a backup quarterback. But Andy, how do you want to see Malik Cunningham utilized on the field?
We're all saying it packages, whether it's Wildcat or you're confusing the defense, is Mac on the field, off the field. We see it with other teams. Is he out at wide receiver? A slash role, because he is a wide receiver for them. Even Bill O'Brien, as recently as last Tuesday, said, well, he's been mostly taking wide receiver reps, except in the Saints week. When he was prepping for the Saints, he was taking Taysom Hill reps for the scout team. And now since then, I'm assuming the reps at quarterback have been bumped up. But as a wide receiver, and then he motions in, a little bit like we saw on the Wildcat touchdown for Ezekiel Elliott, where maybe you get something out of it, and you're getting the defense in Buffalo to prepare for something they never had to prepare for before. The Wildcat, Malik Cunningham, Mac not being on the field. Is that enough? I don't know. The gambling guy will tell you.
Well, I don't know if it's enough, but I will tell you this. I honestly think that the offensive line, in some regards, will welcome this. Welcome a package of Malik Cunningham in there, because it's totally different than having a block for Mac Jones. And you just look at the body language on the side of the field and some of the interceptions, especially after the interception he had against the Raiders the other day. I feel like a lot of those guys on the sideline are like, you know what, if you're just going to throw it up there like that, let's go ahead. Let's just run it every down. Let's bring in a quarterback who's going to run a design quarterback run. By the way, you seeing the numbers at the bottom?
I was about to say, it looks like fans, they have Malik Mania, just like Tom Giles does. What is it, 50%? They want him to start at quarterback.
I'm not there.
That's a totally different story. I don't know about that.
Can I explain that? That's so they can get the number 1 pick and get a real quarterback.
Oh,
they're playing games there on the internet.
Curran's got his hand raised out there in Foxborough. Go ahead, Curran.
To Giles' point about the offensive line embracing it, I think they might to a degree if it's simply a running play. But I do know that offensive linemen can feel as if things get a little chaotic if you have a scrambling quarterback, because there's an unpredictability that enters into things. While Mac is predictable, everybody knows where to find him, and they generally have been. I think with sometimes a running quarterback, once he starts going chipmunk on you, you're an offensive lineman, and that player, especially if he's young and inexperienced, could run into trouble because he's just not used to the speed and just doesn't have enough reps and experience. So it's a catch-22, I think, for the offensive line, for the entire offense. But I'll say it again. Until he throws it overhand down the field, he is not a quarterback in the NFL. He can do it, yes, but you've got to make the defense think that he might throw it. And he's got to do that if he's out there this week, or it's a joke.
51% saying they want to see Malik Cunningham as starting quarterback. I don't know if I agree with that, but we'll see how it goes on Sunday.